And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I am your host, the Hockey Princess. We have Crusty old guy. Guys, it looks a little different because we're currently in our hotel room in Ottawa post final game of the Chicago Blackhawk season. Very sad that it's over. But there's always next year. And hopefully next year is a little bit better than this year.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah, it's real cold here, so Crusty can't go out. I can't have a cigar. So I got beef jerky.
Yep.
So that'll have to handle things for this evening.
Yep.
Or today's episode or whatever we're supposed to say. Also, I'm kind of stuck here behind the scenes in the Hockey Princess's world of all of her controls. This is amazing, just unbelievable stuff. I don't know what all these buttons do. Do you know what these buttons do?
Some.
Some you don't know?
Yeah.
What happens if I just start hitting buttons?
Please don't.
Okay, I won't touch anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like I said on Monday, guys, the Monday episodes will be done until October, till the season starts back up again. But we'll still be doing our Thursday weekly episodes throughout the off season. We'll cover playoffs, we'll cover draft, we'll cover dog days in August. And also an additional, we've thanked them quite a bit earlier in the week, but thanks to all the other podcasts that have come and hung out with us this season during our Monday preview episodes. Crusty and I get a big kick out of making new hockey friends. So that was pretty entertaining this past year.
Yeah, there was a lot of good people.
Yeah.
And again, I thoroughly enjoy getting other fan bases' views on their team and, where they think people are at. Usually I can get a better feel than just from the local beat writer, usually somebody who's going to the games.
Yeah.
And has an unbelievable vested interest. So I've thoroughly enjoyed them.
It's some good stuff. Let's get into the NHL world, guys, because we have a couple of things with the NHL world. Biggest thing to talk about, the hottest thing really going into the postseason, is Gabriel Landeskog is finally coming back to the Colorado Avalanche. A lot of people didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. I went back and forth on it, but had a conditioning stint with the Colorado Eagles, which is the Avalanche's AHL affiliate, and that stint has been terminated, and now he is back up with the big kids prior to game 1 of round 1. This is going to be incredible. I can't wait to hear the inside of that barn for his first game, and I'm assuming they'll throw him on the starting lineup. And just to hear all of that, I think this is great for Avs fans. I think this is a great jolt of juice going into the first round for all of Colorado. Your captain's back.
Yeah, it's extremely big stuff. 2 years away from the game. An unbelievably messed up knee, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
People did not think he would be back. How much will he be able to do? I don't think it really matters. I think he'll be able to play. I think he'll be playing on a fourth line kind of way. But the juice that team should get from him being on the ice should just be huge. And again, he can play a fourth line role, maybe do some power play too.
I think also the way that the Avs roster is right now, he doesn't, to be honest, I don't think he has the ability to be top 6 right now, just coming back from the injury, but also with the way that Colorado's roster is seeming to kind of pan out going to the postseason, he doesn't have to do a ton.
No,
he just needs to be there. He does not have to be like 100% on to be like a make or break for that roster.
No, but he's definitely an interesting piece that could be used. Also, you traded Rantanen, who's more of a bigger, thicker forward. Nashis is a little bit more of a playmaker, not as strong on his skates. And this gives you the opportunity. Landeskog is a beast.
Yeah.
He might not be able to go up and down the ice a ton for you, but he's going to be able to do everything else. And again, you can find little shifts with him with McKinnon or double shifting McKinnon back down to the fourth line with him a little bit. It should be very impressive.
Yeah.
We'll see how much he's able to go. I would assume he'll be on close to a 10-minute deal.
Is fine, I think.
Yeah, it'll become more and more overwhelming for him as the playoffs go on. But again, you're not, as you stated, you're not looking for him to ignite and carry this team. You're looking for him just to be an inspiration and a bottom six piece.
Because I really think if you have the expectation for Gabriel Landeskog to be the person to carry this team on his back, they wouldn't be in the post. They wouldn't be at the position that they were anyway. They would be more in a wild card, kind of scraping in if you were very heavily relying on Landeskog to carry you through at least to the first round. Colorado's comfortable as is.
You would be correct.
I rarely am. Other NHL news with the Los Angeles Kings, Edmonton got a little messy this weekend. I'm very excited to see how that first round goes. But it was announced that Darnell Nurse will only get a 1-game suspension for the check against Byfield, which I think is BS because Jamie Benn did that same hit last year and got 3 games. But, what do I know? It's Edmonton.
Is that a 1 game that'll end up being the last regular season game, or is that a 1 in the playoffs?
I have no idea. I just saw 1 game.
What do you mean you have no idea?
I just saw 1 game, so I assumed that it was 1.
Well, and Edmonton still has 1 game to go. So, yes, it's a regular season game, meaning Nurse will be ready for the beginning of the playoffs.
So that should be interesting. Also, speaking of Edmonton Oilers, Ekholm is expected to miss the entire first round due to injury. So we'll see what that looks like for the matchup. And then finally in the NHL news, and we'll talk about this a little bit more when we talk about the Blackhawk games, but Ivan Demidov had his first assist and his first goal against the Blackhawks. Guys, I still love Artie, and I still am very glad that Katie picked Artie. And the Artie party is inevitable with proper coaching. But good God, does Ivan Demidov make me so nervous I'm about to crap my pants.
Yeah. It was a special night in Montreal. It was really neat, as you said. We'll get to that in a little while, I would assume.
Yeah.
What I'd like to know is if your listeners find it more annoying when I'm eating jerky or when I'm smoking a cigar.
I don't know. I'll ask.
Okay. Thanks. That's all.
Okay.
Carry on. I can speed bump you while we're right next to each other.
Yeah.
See? I'm talented.
You are so talented. Getting into, speaking of postseason, we're going to do our first round predictions.
We're going to do that now?
Yeah.
Oh, that seems like some BS. You got all yours figured out. I haven't even started.
I was writing mine down and said, don't you need to write yours down? And you're like, oh, no, I'll just go off of vibes. I watch enough hockey.
That's what I said. It's true.
Yep.
Well, are you going to tell them where they can go to?
So,
yes, don't be crabby.
We are only doing the first round right now for the show, also because the bracket is not technically set, but it will be set and the playoffs will have started by next episode. So we're only going to go through the first round, but we will have our entire bracket filled out by the time the playoffs start. You can join the Hockey Princess League with the NHL Bracket Challenge. The link will be below. The password is Crusty27. Come join us with your predictions. It should be fun.
What do they get if they win? You got to give them something. They need some incentive. I kind of like this doing it this way.
Yeah.
I get to look at you and make fun of you occasionally. And I now look there and then I look at you.
Yeah.
I look there, I look at you.
Yeah.
There, you.
Yeah.
So what do they get? Yeah, I didn't think about that, did you?
No.
All right, we'll tell you at the end of the show. We'll go. How How about a Blackhawks organically grown since 1923 T-shirt?
Since 2023?
Yes.
Yeah. Organically grown T-shirt. It's one of Crusty's favorites.
It is. It's Crusty original.
So, but we're going to go through first round.
Oh, we are, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on, tough guy.
You want to do West or East first, Crusty?
I don't know what I'm doing, so it's all on you.
We'll go West first because
Okay.
West is the best.
Oh, sure. That's what they say in Glen Ellen.
First matchup, we have your Winnipeg Jets versus your St. Louis Blues. That, my opinion, is 50% my love for Connor Hellebuck and Eric Comrie, and the other 50% is my general loathing for St. Louis. Winnipeg wins.
General Loathing?
Yeah.
Was he like in the army or something?
Yeah.
General Loathing. Who'd you take?
Winnipeg.
Oh, I'm taking Winnipeg. I already screwed the. Oh, can I say screwed the pooch?
Yes.
That's pretty gross. I already screwed the pooch on them during the regular season. No, I will take Connor Hellebuck in revenge for the Four Nations against.
That is right. We have we have Four Nation goalie rematch. Hellebuck. All day, any day. Including Four Nations, because that wasn't on Hellebuck. That was on Austin Matthews not being where he's supposed to be. Next matchup, we have the Mikko Rantanen matchup. Your Dallas Stars versus your Colorado Avalanche. Crusty, who do you got?
Oh, shit.
This one's probably the hardest one, I think, out of the matchups. I think the only one that I think that could go either way as well is probably Carolina and New Jersey, in my opinion. So it was really hard to make a decision. And I'm even going against my initial predictions because now thinking about it, I'm going with Dallas.
Wow.
I got faith in the Otter.
Well,
Dallas is great.
I
think Rantanen's going to put on a show to stick it to Colorado management. Because if I saw anything from the welcome back Rantanen and the tears that guy had on the bench, he did not want to leave. So he is going to make round one hell.
Is Heiskanen playing? What do you mean you don't know? I heard he might not be ready.
I still have faith in Dallas. I have faith in the Dallas Stars. Also, because just to me, Dallas being knocked out of the first round is too wild.
Well, so is Colorado.
Colorado's been knocked out in the first round recently.
You've just gone through this whole Landeskog, thing, and now you're going to say he's only going to play like 6 games?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, then.
You got Colorado?
Yeah, for good TV, I'll take Colorado. I really don't know who to take.
You're going against your boy?
Yeah.
You're going against Jason Robertson.
I do love Jason Robertson. He looks like such a child. And I'm a big Rope.
That's not why Crusty loves him.
Yeah, easy. Don't go there. I'm a big Rope Hintz fan. But the best player in the NHL plays on the Colorado Avalanche. I know all of you people out there are thinking, isn't that Nathan McKinnon? No. Is it the best player Connor McDavid? He's the best player, but the most important piece is probably Cale Makar. So,
isn't it wild to think we were there when Makar got drafted?
It was pretty wild. I don't know why he didn't come by and say hi.
Yeah.
It's rude.
Super wild.
So I'm going to take Colorado for that. It is going to be one hell of a series. Definitely must watch if you're going to watch any playoff series in the first round. That's the one to watch.
It'll be very entertaining. I always feel like there's at least one matchup that is in the first round, but it could easily be like the Eastern Conference Final or the Western Conference Final.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, it should be a humdinger. I forgot all about that. I don't know how to pick that one, but I guess I picked Colorado.
I got more faith in Otter.
Okay.
Next one, we have Vegas Golden Knights versus Minnesota Wild. This one, I went realistically and not what I would like to see, because as we know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Vegas Golden Knights. However, I do think that they outplayed Minnesota in the first round. I think Minnesota is on the cusp of being frightening, especially with the Zeev Williams signing. And I think that they're definitely going to give Vegas a run for their money. I don't think it's going to be like a Vegas in 4, but I do think at the end of the day, Vegas gets it done more likely than Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, they've been there before. They'll have a very good game plan for Krill. They are going to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to be able to beat them. Yeah, there's just too much talent there.
Right.
And they all know how to play really good shutdown hockey when they need to.
I mean, I see Minnesota being a serious threat maybe next year's playoffs or even the year after. I just don't think that this could be the fluke round. Because I also think there's always one fluke team in the playoffs. We saw it with Vancouver last year. But I just don't think this is the year for Minnesota to go far in the postseason.
No. And no, they'll probably be out in about 5. Again, they start their ascension upward next year. Most of their money from the Parise and Suter contracts come off the books this year.
Thank goodness.
I think they have one more payment, but the payment now is like $1 million each that goes up against the cap. So these last 2 years were the big years. So yeah, they'll be able to restock. And, number one, being a Blackhawk fan, you hope they really fail next year. I'm hoping William pulls a leg out, Faber pulls his other leg out, and then, Krill just says, I don't want to be here. I'd much rather be in Chicago than Minnesota because this team's no good. So that's what we're looking for. But yeah, they don't last more than 5. So I guess we can move on.
Final one for the West, Los Angeles versus Edmonton. This is off of vibes because I cannot say it without wanting to throw up. It going the other way. This is the year Los Angeles beats Edmonton.
Really?
I will die on the hill every year. But I do think that it's possible. It's always possible. I got faith in Los Angeles. I'm okay with this being my version of like your Ottawa Senators. I will die on the hill of Los Angeles. Also to just spite Corey Perry and Stan Bowman.
Oh, who's goaltending for Edmonton?
Skinner?
Yeah. I believe it's Skinner, right? The other guy's hurt. Who on LA will be able to shut down Connor McDavid and Draisaitl? That'll be your Philip Deneau.
They're just bringing out the B team trying to hurt us. Philip Deneau. God, I love him. It's Picard and Skinner.
Yeah, and it's Picard right now because I think Skinner's hurt. So I am going to agree with you.
Woo-hoo.
And I will also take Los Angeles for this being the year that they finally get past them. I think they're ready. I think as long as Byfield is okay after that hit, if he's playing, I think he is going to be ready, and he's been a beast the last 20 games.
Yeah.
He will be your difference maker. And, Los Angeles won't mind thumping around on people also. They've got a lot of speed, so, yeah, I'm going to jump on that one too.
Woo, woo. Go Los Angeles. All right, to the East.
To the East.
First up,
Uh-huh.
The Battle of Ontario.
Huh?
You have Toronto versus
Uh-huh.
Ottawa.
Okay. You want me to go first? I guess I should go first. You went first in the West.
I'm going Toronto.
I'm going Toronto.
Yeah.
We're in Ottawa. It was a stadium that's far, far away from downtown.
That it is.
I guess we'll tell you more about it after we do all this stuff. But I like the Ottawa Senators. They made a great trade and got Dylan Cousins, who gives them a little bit more of a scoring pop. A young stud defenseman, and Shabbat is a really good defenseman also.
Okay.
But Toronto is just got too much talent.
Unless Toronto does the Toronto thing.
Well, they're going to do the Toronto thing, but
it's a game 7.
Are they really going to do it against Ottawa? Do they wet the bed against Ottawa?
I'm going with Toronto.
I'm going with Toronto also because I still haven't seen Brady Tkachuk play. So I don't know.
I mean, not this year.
Yeah, so I don't know what he comes into the playoffs. And unless he is 100%, I just think it's too much of a hill to climb. If I had 100% Brady and I had seen him for like 4 games and I knew he was completely ready, I would like to go the other way against the Loafs. But I don't see him, so I will agree with you on Toronto. I hate saying that. It just makes me feel dirty and yucky.
That was me going Vegas over Minnesota. Second battle, the Battle of Florida. Tampa versus Florida.
Mm-hmm.
This is off of vibes because 1, I can't pick Tampa. I didn't have a good feeling about it. And 2, gosh darn it, playoff hockey is about the hockey princess watching Toma Ruutu on the screen. So, Florida Panthers. Also, because I think they're struggling right now, but I have more confidence in teams that struggle at the end of the year than teams that are on hot streaks and then seem to crap the bed during the first round. I think they're having the struggle at an okay time. You're locked in. You're going to the playoffs. This is the time to goof up, not in round 1.
Okay. You sure about that?
I want to see more Toma Ruutu on screen. Yes.
Okay.
He's going to go Tampa because he likes Tampa more than me.
I do. I always like Tampa. They have the better goaltender.
Wow.
And this is going to set up everything perfectly. Perfectly, I say.
For Sam Bennett coming to the Blackhawks?
For Meathead Nation to go, see, that's Seth Jones. He stinks. He's the reason they're out in the first round because they got Seth. Oh, my God. It's going to fly in from everywhere. There's going to be letters. There's going to be owls sending stuff to me saying, see, Crusty, that Seth Jones stinks everywhere. He leaves a stench everywhere. So for all of you haters, yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa so you can bring the hate, the Jones hate. And you got Brandon Hagel. They're incredibly stacked offensively. They're pretty solid defensively. Granted, they're a Hedman injury away from not being able to play with Florida, but as long as Hedman stays healthy, they got Vasilevsky and that. It's just too much. I just think Florida climbed the mountain. I think they've been coasting a little bit now, and I don't think they can ramp it up enough again. So that's my take on it. I know Tampa won tonight.
Yes, 5-1.
I don't know who rested and who didn't do anything. So, but I will go with Tampa.
Next matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So this is as of right now. This may be wrong by the time that this drops because there's like a 1-point differential between these two teams, but we're just going with, as of right now, the matchup is the Washington Capitals versus the Montreal Canadiens. It could change, and it's the Washington Capitals versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. But we're going to go with, as the standings are right now at the time of recording, Washington versus Montreal.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear everything. I was busy on my phone.
Checking Seth Jones's.
Yeah, he was a -3 tonight. So, Seth, oh my God, these people are going to love when Florida goes out right away. People are going to be all over me like the white on the rice. Oh, now I'm looking back over here. What were we talking about?
Washington versus, we're going with, as of right now, Montreal.
Uh-huh. Well, Crusty will stick by what he said. That for some reason, Washington goes out in the first round. So I will go with the Montreal Canadiens, who can't seem to win a game right now to get in the playoffs.
Washington.
Okay.
They're established.
They are established.
I think Demidov takes one too many long stares into Ovi's eyes and gets distracted, and Wilson runs him up in the first 5 minutes of game one. And I think,
yeah, you're doing a lot of thinking, aren't you?
I just think Dylan Strome makes it happen. Homeboy did get a hat trick tonight too.
Very well possible, but I've said throughout most of this year that if I have a gut feeling, it was about that the Capitals would somehow wet the bed once the playoffs came around. So I am not going to go veer away from that. So I'm going to take the Canadiens.
Go with the Caps. And then our final matchup, you have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New Jersey Devils. I really don't have an allegiance anymore now that we have Tavo back. Because before I would just pick the Carolina Hurricanes against anybody because of Tavo and because of Tomarutu rules. But I don't know, because neither one of them have played all that fantastic as of late. But I'm going to go with the Hurricanes.
I'm going with the Canes too.
Just because I think they're both been inconsistent as of late, but I think I just have more confidence in the Hurricanes roster that they can bring it back to like their normal, whereas the New Jersey Devils kind of just seem inconsistent, and I don't know if they have the ability to rein them back into the normal, especially with Jack out.
Yeah, I mean, no Jack Hughes is a huge difference. But again, the Jersey team has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
A lot of talent.
So is Carolina. You got the stank.
Yeah. I'm sure they would much rather have Natius. So
I'd rather have the stank.
This is going to be another really good series.
Yeah.
I believe. And you have Freddie Anderson against Markstrom. Wow.
I know.
I'm going Carolina, but I'm now mulling it over in my head. I can't go against Rod the Bot, so we'll go Carolina.
All right.
That was really difficult.
I know.
I didn't like doing that. I have to keep my first round picks, though, don't I? And everything.
So,
I can't
like I said, we're going to have our bracket challenge. Join the league. The link will be down below. Join us for the postseason. It should be entertaining. But back to our kids, not other people's kids. We got our prospect.
You have kids? Oh, you're talking about other people's kids. Yeah, gotcha.
Other people's kids. We got a couple of prospect reports. A couple of guys are still in postseason in the OHL, and the Frozen Four got wrapped up this past weekend. So for Frozen Four, you've got 1 goal out of Aiden Thompson, who has now signed a ATO contract with the Rockford Ice Hogs. And you've got Ryan Green with 1 assist for Boston University, who has now become a Chicago Blackhawk. And we'll talk about our newfound love for Ryan Green when we get to the big club. You got 1 assist out of Martin Misiak, 1 assist out of Jack Pridham, 2 goals and 1 assist from Merrick Vanaker from Brantford Bulldogs, 4 goals and 2 assists for Nick Lardis. He is out currently, is not playing in this current game between Brantford and Oshawa. Took a really, really nasty hit to the knee, body, knee, boards. And he was down on the ice for a while in a lot of pain. So we hope that it's not a serious injury. Hope that he's ideally able to come back for like the next game that Brantford plays. And if he isn't, we just hope that the rehab and recovery is easy and seamless for the Lardass. Getting to Rockford, had a couple of games this past weekend. They're officially in the postseason, so I can stop freaking out. But they do have the best of 3, I believe, against Chicago. So that should be entertaining. Hopefully we can get past them. Ideally, first game to talk about is Rockford versus Tucson. You've got 2 goals, 1 from Ledwinski, 1 from Senny. Drew was in net, who played amazing. You had Savoie and Hayes down on the 3rd line, and then EDM was recalled back to the Rockford IceHogs from Chicago. So you had EDM and Nolan Allen as your top defensive pairing for that game. The other game was Rockford versus Milwaukee. You had your Aiden Thompson debut, played primarily up on the first line that game, first left wing spot. You had Savvy and Hayes on the 2nd, Ledwinski on the 3rd. You also had Tage Harding with the top pairing. Allen and EDM were both rested for that game, and Weeks was in net as well. And you only had 1 goal from Kevin Lombardi. So there's still a couple more games for Rockford's regular season before the postseason starts, but should be interesting. Gosh, I really hope we can get past Chicago. But now, the big club.
Did we ever figure out the playoffs?
It's best of 3.
And where are they at?
Chicago.
All 3?
No idea.
I forgot to do that. I'm really sorry, people. Well, we're going to go with what Angela said before. It's 2 in Chicago and then 1 in Rockford, like the last one. But I never really – I'm sorry, I failed everybody. But it'll be another week before that starts. So I'm going to lie to you again and say I'm going to have that information for you. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's just go to the big club.
Big club. So we have news. Ryan Green up with the big club after Boston University lost out to Western Michigan University. Also, I would like to say congratulations to Western Michigan University for the Frozen Four championship. I was able to go see them with 1 game against University of North Dakota to go scout Sasha a couple of months ago. Those fans are lovely and diehards, and congrats on the championship. Also, I find it very interesting that, we talked a little bit about, certain universities and certain colleges starting to have pull in terms of like NIL money and stuff like that to be paying athletes. Western Michigan University won the national championship without spending $1 in NIL money. And I think that's very just interesting. And I'm excited. They're getting a new stadium next year. Western Michigan and Kalamazoo Wings and the ECHL are merging and having the same stadium, not merging teams. So it should be very interesting in Kalamazoo for next year.
Agreed.
Yeah. Now let's get into the big club.
You sure?
Yeah.
You said you were going to get in a big club, and then you went back and you went to college.
Yeah, because I had to congratulate Western Michigan.
Okay. But now we're going to the big club,
Yes.
You sure?
So Ryan Green is up with the big club, which is great. Everybody was all about Demidov for the Habs game, but we were about Ryan Green.
We were. We were Team Green. Gang Green, as they like to call us. That's right. Almost like a big disease. Gangrene. Sorry, I just came up with that one. I don't know exactly why I said that, but because there was a whole gang of green people.
Yeah, we ran into Ryan's family at a French-Irish dive bar a couple of blocks away from the Bell Center. They were lovely, absolutely lovely. They're, what is it, like 50 plus people from Newfoundland?
I
coming to
believe,
see
yeah,
them.
it was about close to that. There was a whole pack of them. It was really, really scary. I was
in a
frightened.
great way.
Let's see if I can pull it up. It was called. I'll let.
Maison Publique de la Montagne, maybe?
Okay, De La Montagne
Maison.
Orchard.
Yeah. Orchard Pub and Grill.
Orchard Pub and Grill.
There we go.
Here, see if you guys can see that. Does that help?
No.
Nope, not whatsoever. Oh my God, she pulled me back. She was like, quit messing with my show. These are the graphics that the intern's going to bring in at some point in time. It's going to be kick ass. But there you can see the hockey sticks. I'm sorry. So, but yes, we
you can tell it's the end of the year now.
We met a bunch of his friends from where he was born. We got our picture taken with them and Grandma Green, or Gigi as we were calling her. You know, Grandma Green, Gigi.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. And then he got an assist in the Montreal game, and then it was taken away by the time we woke up.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Do we have a game to talk about besides the two that we just came
Winnipeg.
to? Oh, Winnipeg. Okay. So how do you want to do this? You want to talk a little bit about Winnipeg, or you just want to talk about the trip, or what do you want to do? You're the boss here.
Well, Winnipeg was the final game at home. Our thank you fans game, but we didn't get anything, which was bogus. Thanks, Jamie.
It used to be called Fan Appreciation Night, and, well, they really don't appreciate it. So now they just occasionally put up their thank you.
Which is bogus. Especially with, and I showed you this earlier, what the Anaheim Ducks did for their fan appreciation. I'm not saying that we have to go to that level. They went on social media and they said, text us your seat number and what would you like? Could be merchandise, could be snacks for the concessions. Let us show how much we appreciate you. And I just thought that was a nice thing for them to do. Not that I'm expecting us to do that, but it seems like every team does at least a something.
Well, not our team.
Be it the jersey exchange, giveaway, something like that. And I'm just saying, I have a lot of Blackhawk stuff, but after watching this team in person for a lot of these games, I want something free, Jamie. I know you're loaded. Please.
I don't think Jamie cares about us. So.
I don't think Jamie cares about all.
In full disclosure, the organization has done a little bit better job this year than they did last year. So I will give a tiny look. See, I get to look at you, and then the screen. Look at you, then the screen. A tiny bump for Jamie, but yeah, just disappointed at the last game of the year. And it used to be a big event, and there used to be a good amount of giveaways to random people or whatever else. And the fact that there's nothing, it's
weird.
It's weird. It's disappointing, and it's crazy because you're still like the 7th best drawing team in the league. So I don't want to, and I cannot listen or hear from anybody who tells me that the Worths are in trouble financially. But all that being said, the boys put on a nice little show.
Yeah.
Again, they lost in OT.
It was Maroon and Martinez's final game.
And for that, luckily for us, we get to go to the game. So I didn't have to deal with it on the TV, but I've heard from multiple sources that by the end of it, everybody is sick and tired of Pat Maroon, because for somebody who played only 1 year with the Blackhawks, he definitely got frigging FaceTime out of his mind the last like 3 games, and constantly talked about like he was some kind of local legend in Blackhawk Laurel.
Were people annoyed, or was Sam just annoyed?
Well, there was Sam and other people. There was plenty of people who are like, oh, for the love of God, we don't need to continue to talk about this. But Maroon had a great career, so it was a nice night for the two of them. Final start at the stadium. Of course, Martinez got a little promotional video also. They kept out the Western Conference final goal that he scored against us.
I don't need to. I saw that in real time. I don't need to watch the video again.
But things kind of seemed to gel in that game, and then they didn't, and structurally and defensively we're still a very difficult team. It's going to be a long process.
Yeah. And then we came to Canada.
Yes, we did.
And it was great.
Well, it was, because, Hockey Princess decided she wanted to fly out at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Woo, 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 woo.
So basically, I didn't get home till way late from Saturday's game, and I had to be on a flight at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Wasn't very happy about it. But we did have a nice visitor on the plane.
Guys, we saw Connor Bedard's mom. It was great.
Mama Bedard was on our flight. No, we did not bother her. We did not really even talk to her. People that we were talking with before the flight were kind of in line with her, and they mentioned, this was a guy who, for his dad's 70th birthday, was taking him to Montreal to watch his first game in Montreal. And that's when she said, well, my son's Connor Bedard and this and that. So Mama Bedard was on our flight. We were very happy about that. Yeah. So if you can't figure out, we ran into a lot of people.
This has been the season of running into people.
Yes. And then we made it to Montreal. Yeah. It was really fun.
Beautiful. I've been to Montreal for all of 4 hours before pre-COVID to watch Hawks versus Habs. I still stand by the fact I think the Bell Center is the best barn to watch hockey in terms of NHL barns. I was never privy to the old stadium, but out of this new and the ones that I've been to, granted there's plenty that I haven't been to, it's up there.
You need to qualify how you're gonna, or quantify, or what. There's a keyword in there someplace that you were supposed to be using. I don't know what the keyword is, but the best place to see a game, the best place vibe, and everything else. Because I will still say the best place to see a game is the XL Center. The building in Minnesota is it's off the hook. So I'm going to shelve that over there.
It's definitely up there. I agree with you. I'm a big fan of that.
Yes, but I will still say that's a better place to watch a game than where we went to. But got to go walk around the outside day before the game, had a cigar, made the Hockey Princess walk around with me, and just went by the building and everything, and it just oozes
hockey.
Oozes tradition. You feel like you're on hallowed ground before I even got in the building. I have never felt anything like that in any other NHL stadium that I went into. And then going in there and everything else.
And it's packed.
Yes, it was packed.
Ungodly packed. Granted, it was Demidov's first game, but I was there, 5 years ago, and it was just as packed.
Yeah. So with the atmosphere and everything, besides the old stadium and back in our crazy, crazy days, nothing quite like it. It was everything that I hoped it would be. It was off the hook. Canadian fans were phenomenal.
Lovely.
You know, I got a lot of jerseys showing and some good banner back and forth, but normal hockey stuff, that was it. We were up kind of high, but you were still over the ice, like kind of like at the old stadium. So that was really nice. The building was loud as shit.
Yeah.
You know, hate to say it, you know, everybody, the Madhouse, I mean, yes, much louder than the United Center. Brought back memories of the stadium where it's just everybody starts screaming and it's the ringing in the ears, and it was off the hook. And then Demidov got an assist and scored a goal, and
Building.
they were off to the races. They were into it from puck drop, and I think the kids on the Hawks really enjoyed the atmosphere. I think they were super glad to be playing there, and they played a super good game.
Because Frank the Tank is amazing.
Yeah, it was. This little trip has been and the Winnipeg game has been a coming out party for the NASCAR. As I was telling the hockey princess, and that's a hockey player. That's a complete hockey player.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he must watch the show. You must have heard 2 or 3 weeks ago me calling him Victor, as in Victor Stahlberg, another fast guy who can't finish. And since then he's been putting the puck in the net all just fine. So yeah. Another person who says, "Shut the fuck up, Crusty."
Which we love that.
It's a long list.
Yeah.
You know, not just hockey wise. But yeah, the kids really played well. NASCAR played a great game. It'll be very fun to watch, as we like to say, the two trees, the big oaks.
They remind me of, and you're not going to know the reference, but maybe my listeners will. In Lord of the Rings, when like Merry and Pippin are being carried by like the really big trees, they're like not wanting to go to Isengard. That's what watching Sam Renzel and Alex Vlasic are like. I'm blanking on the name of it because it's late and I'm too distracted by Crusty finding me ridiculous. But Sam Renzel and Alex Vlasic are the tree people in Lord of the Rings. And it's awesome.
The tree people.
Yes.
They're the tree people. That's what it should remind you of. Some people carrying people by trees. She's going to pull up the video and then put it up here as our graphic. But their ability to move everything to the outside, and with that reach, people can't cut into the middle, and they can't cut in.
The Ents. That's what they're called.
They're ants?
Ents.
Ents.
Yeah.
Ents. Oh, yeah, I remember those guys. He's got a lot of hair. It's like an afro. Look and see, she did do it. She put up a graphic like that. Oh, what a maroon. But they were really able to shut down the Habs. And at the end of the day, after, you know, Demidov's goal to make it 2-0 was kind of a fluke goal. Kind of blew the zone.
Demidov being Demidov.
And, you know, at the end of the day, they shut him down from that point on.
Aside from the third goal that Montreal got, that was on the total BS Connor Murphy penalty. And sorry, Blue Jackets fans, that they tied it up, but it was a bullshit call.
But as you Blue Jacket fans know, it wasn't because of us. Yeah. That was the people in Toronto, those Canadians, who wanted Montreal in there instead of you. That's where you have to put your anger, not us. Okay, we did our best. We tried. Yeah, it was a crap call on Murphy. And then we went to a shootout, and got even weirder
It's
and
so
even worse
weird.
reffing. Never seen anything like it. I thought NASCAR had scored.
Yes, because NASCAR looked like he scored.
Because I didn't see the puck.
Yeah.
Usually, whenever you would have seen the netting move.
Yeah.
Because if the puck went up that high and out of play. But there was no place to see the puck. I had jumped up. I had figured he had scored. And then there was nothing. And I was like, and you still looked back by the net and never saw them grab the puck.
Which is bogus.
Just a clusterfuck by Stripes and by Toronto and by everything. I understand the Habs beef. Laine goes to shoot. Bloom stops him, and then they state that it was a good goal. It's just really bad. I don't know what they were thinking of. I don't know how they.
I don't think they were thinking.
Right. I just don't understand where they thought the puck was.
I don't know.
I mean, you would have had to think, and there's two guys right there. Yeah. Just crazy. But again, that was enough to get the win. Granted, at the beginning of all this, it should have been no points for Montreal, and things would have really heated up come the last game. But I think right now they each got one game left. Columbus wins, Montreal loses, and Columbus is in.
Yeah.
So, hey, that should be super fun.
Yeah. And then we went to Ottawa.
Were we done with Montreal?
Did you have anything else on Montreal?
I don't know. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a fun city.
Yeah.
A lot of history. Yeah, I guess we can just move on.
Okay.
All right.
I made Crusty go walking a lot.
We had to climb some hill over there. It's like, well, there's Montreal, and then there's a hill going up. There's a cross up there and something else, but I had to walk all the way up it.
Yep.
But, Krusty's as fit as a fiddle. Didn't even bother him.
Oh, it bothered me. I was like halfway up 2 flights of stairs. And then we...
New hips. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, we walked up a hill. We walked a racetrack.
Yes, we did walk the road. Hockey Princess definitely wanted to go where the Formula One guys go. So we walked a lap around the racetrack there. That was very super cool. And let's see, we got anything else player-wise? Main thing that got lost in the shuffle is Bloom played a really good game.
Yeah.
But this was one for the kids that this team, it mattered. They were going for it, and that was a win that you could actually look at and go, hey, maybe things will be here or there, because really the last 3 weeks, it's hard to gauge anything because nobody really gives a crap.
Yeah.
I mean, the last game was 3 or 4 ago against Washington, and you saw what happened there. But great win for the kids. Now we can talk about Ottawa.
Which was nice. Very different vibe than going to the Bell Center.
Yeah.
It's out in the middle of nowhere for anyone who didn't know. Their rink is in the middle of nowhere, which is wild because their junior team plays in downtown Ottawa. And Gatineau's junior team, which is right across the river from Ottawa, also plays in their downtown. But their NHL team, you have to drive like 45 minutes outside of the city.
Yeah, and I guess it's like one road to get there.
Yes.
It was bloody awful. But we went to, where did we go?
Lieutenant's Pump.
We went to Lieutenant's Pump. And so we had dinner there. And then they had a bus, an actual school bus. And I know what all you guys are thinking. The Krusty's probably riding the short bus. But no, it was a full-length school bus, okay? So don't make any comments. And that was really neat. We met we met some good friends, talked a lot of hockey.
Yep.
So it was really neat to go in there, but a half full building. Ottawa didn't dress some people. It's a game that wasn't very important to them.
I didn't have to watch Brady Tkachuk, which was great.
Yeah, I would have liked to watch Brady Tkachuk. As I said, I would have liked to make sure that he was completely healthy. So the vibe was just completely different. A nice enough rink.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what was with those chairs. They were like bad theater chairs. It was like you sat and then all of a sudden you went like down like this, and it was really weird. It was the weirdest chair I've ever sat in a game. So we had that.
Game was good. Came out swinging. Connor Bedard gave all of the Ivan Demidov media the giant middle finger in the first 4 minutes of the game, which was great.
Yeah, I think he was a little upset that he didn't have a lot of pushback with all the Demidov stuff. And his 2 goals tonight were
beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, picking top corners like just nasty ass shit. So that was phenomenal to see Connor do that at the end of the game. During the game. And then I was thinking at the end of the game.
He had a
nice little drop pass in NASCAR. Buries it. He'll be the talk.
Yeah. Everybody's like, how did Chicago pass up on Ivan Demidov? Guys, how did the Habs trade down and miss Frank Nazar?
True story. There was questions about Frank. Still probably will be.
We had questions. We'll admit it. But it's cool to watch.
But he definitely fell in the draft.
Yes.
He was supposed to go around 7. And he fell to 13. But again, we get back to it. He's a hockey player. He's dialed in. The greatest thing is odds are really good. With the size of both of them, him and Bedard are not going to play on a line together that much.
I think the only time I would see it is maybe it's the last couple of minutes that they're you're trying to tie up, similar to when they used to put Vlasic and Seth on the same line.
Mm-hmm.
You only do it if you need that little bit of extra offensive push. But I do agree.
Yeah, or back in the Cup days, the nuclear option of Johnny and Kane back together, and then with either Hossa or Sharp. Yeah, but NASCAR will be a line driver all on his own. He will drive a line. As I was mentioning to the Hockey Princess, he definitely has made Bertuzzi a better player. Bertuzzi looked like a different player the last 4 games. Playing with NASCAR. I think with NASCAR's just
it makes everybody look better.
Constant hounding and the strength on the skates, I think Bertuzzi's like, oh shit. I don't want to look like an idiot out here. I better step it up.
Yeah.
And I think Bert did that also. And then, on that line, then you just have Tavo kind of orchestrating at all times, knowing what needs to be done and being good.
That's one thing that I want to say about Tavo. Maybe not throughout the entire year, but definitely I'd say the second half. I think there was a very different expectation with bringing him in at the beginning of this year. I think a lot of people had the expectation that we were bringing back 2015 Tavo to this roster. Oh, he was going to be Bedard's line mate. It was going to be back to just how it was. That obviously was not going to be the case. And his point production is not exactly what everyone's expected, but I really think he's found a nice role, especially with these young kids, to, like you said, to just orchestrate everything. He's not necessarily the one that's putting the puck in the net, which is okay after seeing his shootout the past couple of times. I'd want it to be one of the kids, but he's just the way that he can set up everybody and set up those kids. I think he's really found a nice role with what this roster is going to be.
Yeah. He's fine. Is he a top 6 talent? It's debatable. Ideally, what you want to see is the last year of his contract, him playing a third line role is more of a shutdown position, and the rest of these kids coming in. But his hockey IQ is off the charts, so it gives him the ability to play with anybody.
Yeah.
Just because he thinks the game fast. And tonight, the Blackhawks were just like the Blackhawks have been. It took till 10 minutes into the third period before they were double digits with shots on goal. Thank good that Anton Forsberg was in net. But really, at the end of the day, probably not, because, again, 2 of Connor Bedard's goals were unstoppable.
Yeah.
So, Ottawa carried play. And, again, they had their best defenseman not dressed, resting. But it was a phenomenal win for the kids. With these 3 last road wins, they were able to get to 10. There's only been 3 other teams in the modern Cup era that have not reached 10 wins on the road. So Hawks were very much in danger of joining that. It gives an unbelievable good feeling to the fan base. We got all the young kids that are constantly harping on Crusty old guy, telling them to get with it. This team's going to be phenomenal. They'll be feeding that.
We're going all the way next year.
The whole summer. And who knows? Yeah, maybe we are. But Spencer Knight played real well. Again, you're not going to win consistently, constantly giving up 38 shots against and having 16 for you. You expect if our goaltender doesn't play lights out, we don't win.
Right.
And so that'll need to change. But
we'll see.
It's got to be phenomenal for these kids who are going to be part of the future core and the veterans to think, hey, maybe there's some friggin' light at the end of the tunnel.
That isn't a train.
Because losing stinks. And, I'm still going to go on record. This was a wasted year. Development-wise, it was. I don't care what happened at the end of the year. Connor Bedard still hasn't advanced in the last 2 years.
I will argue.
You will? With who?
That
Not with me.
I don't believe it's a wasted year on Frank. Yes, he's had this surge at the end of the season, but you look from where he started, his first NHL game or whatever this time last year, I think he has grown. I don't think it's a wasted year on Frank.
It's a wasted year for the whole thing.
That's fine, but I don't think it's a wasted year on Frank.
Again, you haven't played any real meaningful games. Granted, the Montreal game was meaningful and they looked good. And yeah, I'm all for that. But teams aren't game planning for you. Teams that, again, I'm not going to talk like this. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm on the bandwagon. This team should be fun to watch next year.
Yeah.
They are going to be fast. They looked to play together, especially in Montreal. That was the most fluid, those first 2 periods that I've ever seen this team look this year.
Yeah.
Crisp entries, crisp exits. It was just
good.
Everybody, it was just good. It wasn't as good tonight, but a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
What else are we supposed to talk about?
That's it. That's all we need to talk about.
Oh, well, Crusty is going to go on record. I understand that, we got, 5 out of 6 points in the last 3 games, and I just drank the Kool-Aid here.
Does not mean we need to keep Andrew Sorensen as our head coach.
All coaches on the NHL level and everything has to go.
With the exception of Jimmy Waite.
It needs to be hosed down still.
Saged.
Okay? I don't fall into the thing that, oh no, this is what. No. We need a new coach. We need new assistant coaches. Okay, we'll save that talk for later.
Yep, for dog days when we're bored, unless.
Yeah, because we're going on like over an hour.
Yeah.
Who do you think's listening to us after an hour?
So,
right, for those of you who are still listening, there you go. Diet Coke to you.
Yeah. All right.
What?
We're wrapping.
Uh-oh, you shouldn't have hit that one. I don't know what that is. Hopefully we can see ourselves.
And just as a reminder, folks, while the Blackhawk season is over, we are not over because we have no life and our life is just hockey.
I have a life.
We'll still have our Thursday episodes on a weekly basis. The Monday ones will be on hiatus until next season, when all of that comes back up in October. So just make sure to hit that like and subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon
Somebody
Music.
like me. Everybody hates me. Just somebody like me.
However you watch or listen to us ramble on a weekly basis. That is all, and we will talk at you guys next week.